I've run out of room.
Because they keep multiplying.
Yes, and I have to keep buying bookcases. I don't know where to go next. I'm out of space. I'll have to go to the basement and get rid of some of Dave's guitars to put bookcases.
Welcome to Classical Etc. You're in the studio with Memoria Press.
Welcome to Classical Etc. I am Paul Schaefer, and I'm here with Martin Cothran, Tanya Charlton, and Kathy Becker. And Kathy's been with us before. I feel like normally when you're on, I get kicked off. And
I do feel it's a little odd to be on with you.
Yes. Well,
but today we kicked Jessica off.
We did kick Jessica off.
Because she's busy
preparing for Memoria Academy registration launch.
Yes.
So for all of you all just clamoring for
Memoria Academy classes.
That's what Jess is working on currently. So today we are going to talk about our home libraries, which is probably good, talking about the culture of our reading in our homes. And maybe it'll give some people some ideas of what to do and maybe what not to do. And but before we get there, we need to talk about what we're reading. So Martin never remembers this question. So
have you written it down?
I just jotted a few ideas.
Okay.
Oh, so you're ready.
Well,
go for it. A few ideas.
Ideas. Do you know what you've read, Martin? This is the question.
He doesn't because it's whatever he picks up.
Well, I was working on an article for our journal at memoriacollege.org. And it's a review of two T.S. Eliot essays. Eliot, the great English poet, who, famous for The Wasteland and The Cocktail Party and some other things. And later in his life, he wrote a lot of nonfiction essays, literary criticism, and all this. And so the book I have in my library that we're going to talk about is two essays that are often put together, which is Christianity and Culture and Notes Toward the Definition of Culture. So I had to write about that. So sort of a gloss on it with a little commentary. Very interesting analysis of Christianity and culture. And, because here in the United States, we have the big issue is separation of church and state. But he's Eliot was an American, but he moved to England and became British. And so that's not an issue over there, really. They have a state church, right? But anyway, so I had to read back through those two essays. And so that was interesting because I hadn't done it in probably 30 years.
Eliot's on my list of people I've never read, and I feel like I should have.
He's a really good essay. It's very clear. I mean, The Wasteland, who knows what that means, right? I mean, I'm just kidding, but that's a very difficult poem. But his prose nonfiction writing is great. Very clear. But mostly I've been reading myself. Because I am doing putting together
Have you enjoyed reading yourself?
I love myself.
We know that.
So because you want it, you told me
I do. I
you
want your book of essays.
Okay, it's a collection of my writings from 30.
I'm surprised that you are editing this yourself.
Oh, and I am much enjoying it.
Yeah, I bet you are.
So when
are you going to give it to me?
I'm trying to get it done by next week.
Oh, nice!
Oh, wow!
Well, I mean, they've all been put together. Our editor Dana is great. She put it all together for me. So I'm just going through the manuscript and making changes, and I had to pull out a couple essays because they're unfinished and they're long, and it'll take me a month to finish them. So we'll put it out as another volume of Martin Cothran's
because we don't want too much Martin Cothran. Yes. It needs to be a very slim volume.
Yes.
But it would be a nice, if you could get it done, it would be a nice, we always give away a book at the conference to everybody. That would be a great choice, but you have to finish it.
No. So I'm reading myself.
You're not strong on that.
It really kills me to say it, and I know it's going to make you feel so good, but I cannot wait to read it. It's been needed for some time.
I can wait because I've read it all before. Suffered through it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why you want it for your conference.
Right. Well, other people seem to, people that don't know you as well as I do.
Let's move on from Martin
Okay.
and Martin reading himself. Tanya?
I am reading Sense and Sensibility, which I've been promising to reread, and so I'm doing that. And I'm about halfway through The Digital Delusion, which I'm finding fascinating.
Isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
and you just gave me a copy of Malcolm Geit's book
Galahad and the
is
Grail.
coming out in March, so I'm getting ready to. I'm going to start that next. And I do have a question for our audience. Catherine in accounting, who recommended Emma M. Lyon to me, wants to know if any men enjoy Emma M. Lyon. So I just want to know if we have any viewers who are male who like that series of books. And then, if so, Catherine's going to try to convince her husband to read them.
Okay.
I don't believe, I have not heard of any man in our office trying them yet.
No, not in
Right.
our office, but I'm going wide here.
Yeah.
Is there anybody?
I wonder if you did a study to find out what percent of men read books written by women and what percent of women read. Of course, that would
Women
be different.
read books
women
written by
don't
men.
Right, yeah.
care.
That's right.
I don't think women look at a book and say,
I agree.
"Did a man or woman write this book?"
I agree.
I think we just like to
No,
read.
I'm not even knowing it. I wonder.
But I do think when I hear a man talk about Jane Austen and, how amazing she is, I immediately feel like I'm going to like that person. That man who loves Jane Austen, to me, is like right up there at the top of the perfect man.
Real men
Yes.
read Jane Austen.
Yes.
There's a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Kathy?
Well, I just finished the epic by Sigrid Undset, which is not Kristen Lavrans's daughter. I did love that. But she wrote another series, Olaf Odinson. And this was actually her first manuscript, which was rejected. After Kristen becomes popular, then she edits this and then they publish this.
The one that starts with the axe.
It starts with the
Okay,
axe.
yes.
It's in the 1200s.
I have the old paperbacks.
It's his whole experience of life, birth to death, and his struggle with forgiveness. Do I accept forgiveness? How can I live with that? How can I forgive myself? It's wonderful.
Is it good?
Yes, yes.
I was waiting
very,
to hear
very
if
good.
you liked it before.
Well, and of course, just in case some of our listeners don't know, she wrote Kristen Lavrans's daughter, which
Right.
is it was sort of a lost classic up until maybe 15, 20 years ago. And then I think particularly Christian readers started to rediscover that book.
Mhm.
But it's 3 volumes in the original. I have the original
Yes,
hardback, 3
yes.
volumes.
Mhm.
And it's hard. It's a hard story because.
But I think the new
It- well, the
translator
new
makes it
yeah.
easier.
No, I don't. What I mean is the story.
Her life was
itself,
hard.
her
Oh,
life.
Her life
difficult.
was hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
yes.
but that whole she somehow is able to take you back to, was it 14th century Norway,
yes.
and
yes.
to be able to just invoke
Mhm.
another
Right.
culture so distant like that when this is
Right.
amazing.
Yeah.
Which-
And this is just before that. This is in the
Yes.
1200s. And life was hard.
Mm.
And
Is it as big as Kristen?
yes, it's 4 books. It's 4 books. Yes.
And you've read them all.
Yes.
Well, it
And
must have been
they were
good then.
great. They were great. Like they were so good that I just jumped into the next one.
Right.
They
I
were
love
so
that. I
good.
love having an epic read that's wonderful.
How long did it take you?
Well, because they were so interesting. I mean, I think it took me probably 5 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because
Wow.
it pulled you in.
I
And
think,
if I'm traveling, I always take a book with me.
Mhm.
And then
I think you had
go
just
through.
started it when we went to Fort
We
Worth.
were in Texas.
And I
Yep.
think that was probably about 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow. Well, I haven't made any progress reading anything. I mean, I'm still haven't finished Mars Catlet, which I'm making progress on.
Which is Wendell Berry's
Wendell
newest book.
Berry's new book. Yeah. And then listening to the #1 Ladies Detective Agency for Martin over
Are
here.
you?
Ah.
I am. And I
I love it.
and I'm trying to work through Climate Parnassus again.
Oh, nice.
So that's what I'm working on.
I know why.
Yeah, you do know why. I was supposed to give a talk and then it got postponed. So I am not as in a rush to get through it.
You're not doing the talk at the conference?
No, I was going to give a talk in West Virginia,
right?
And that got postponed. So
yes,
that was like my initial impetus to get it done.
Right.
So, all right. Well, we are going to move on to a listener question. We have an email from Mandy who says that she has been using our program, first and second form, to teach her children Latin. And she's also been reading Climbing Parnassus, and it's taken her 2 years. So
that's okay. That's okay.
Absolutely right. Yeah. But she says it's good. It's a good motivation as she's been studying Latin alongside her kids. So her questions are, how well does completing all the form series, so all 4 levels, prepare you for reading the classic authors? Also, are your students reading primary Latin texts in their final years of high school? And with regards to Greek, what do we recommend continuing with Greek after completing first and second form Greek? So we'll just start at the beginning.
Well, I think when you get done with the form series, you know basic Latin grammar. But it takes a while to prepare for the classical authors. And so there's other things I think you need as an intermediate step before you can start.
What Cheryl figured out was that she thought after fourth form that the students needed more in an introduction to Caesar before they actually, to the idiosyncrasies of the author. So we used to go straight to translating De Bello Gallico, but now we do the back half of Henley too, which is the grammar exercises, but they are specific to Caesar.
Right.
So that then is their first translation course, is Caesar. And then after that, they're moving directly into, then they do Cicero and, well, this has changed, but they used to do more Caesar and Virgil. Now they're doing Pliny and Virgil.
And some do Ovid.
Well,
but they are definitely reading primary authors.
I mean, if you're doing Henley does move you into Caesar in the second book. But you know what? For me, it was helpful because Christian Latin is simpler. And to me, that's a great intermediate step. You have the Vulgate Bible.
And a Vulgate course.
Yes. And I think that I know for me, and my Latin got rusty because I didn't do it for a while, but I've gone back now and I'm kind of just claw my way back. And I'm reading the gospel reading out of the Latin Vulgate Bible every day. And there's a program online you can get that I use. I use it every day called Vol Search 4. And you can get it, and you got side-by-side English and Latin, and you can hover over the Latin word, and it'll give you if you don't know it, give you the definition, the grammatical form that it's using there in that case. And it's just wonderful. And this apparently is true with Christian Latin in general. It's, because Caesar's a great prose stylist. You have Virgil who's doing poetry, and that's a different kind of thing. You have Cicero who's doing classical rhetoric, a lot more style involved in all this stuff. But Christian Latin is very straightforward, blunt, really, and so to me, that's always, for me, it's helped me because that's kind of my intermediate step back to trying to read this.
Well, and there are Christian authors that are much more complex.
Yes,
but there are, especially medieval Latin, right? As Latin is no longer the language they're growing up with. It's just, it is a simpler form. And so it's an easy way to transition in. But I think fundamentally, to answer the listener's question, we're saying you have the grammatical tools you need, but the students really just need an easy practice for probably about a year before they can dive into an author. And and Cheryl's thought was if the practice is geared towards the first classical author you're going to do, then that's going to make that next classical author that much easier.
Right, because the exercises are literally phrases taken out of Caesar. So they're doing just like this little minuscule translation. And there are readings as well.
And you build a lot of walls and ramparts.
Yes.
And this
fight with swords.
And this is from a homeschool mom.
Right.
Like you want to say to people, oh, this is just what she's doing in her home every day. Pretty wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, except people then look at you like you're crazy. Not so much anymore, but.
And Greek, if
Greek.
first,
Well,
second form Greek.
at school we use Croy. I don't know the name of it.
It's called a primer of biblical Greek.
That's French. Can you spell that for people?
CROY. That's not French.
Is it? Is that?
Yeah.
What, okay.
CROY.
I was thinking is the OUI.
Oh,
no. CROY.
All right.
And I guess if the student has had first and second form Greek, I think Croy is difficult. But if they've had first and second form Greek, they should be able to get through it fine.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what we do.
Well, then, Mandy, hopefully we've answered your questions. And we are moving on, not quickly, to home libraries. And so last night, Martin and Tanya and I were sending pictures of our home libraries back and forth. I don't know if maybe we asked Kathy to come unprepared on this since she wasn't at her home last night to take pictures of her library. But maybe we just start off describing our libraries. Like, why is our library the way it is?
Mm-hmm. I think they're going to all be so different.
They are all going to be so different.
Let's get Kathy go first. She's our guest.
Okay. So in my office, really, that's the main place where I have my books. Although then there's another room where there are books because books grow.
Yes.
They keep multiplying. And, I keep saying we need to clean this out and we need to get rid of them. And then you start to get rid of them. And then you're like, no,
I may reread
I think maybe I need to keep this. Yes. So what do we include? I wrote a little list here because lists are good. We have poetry. We have poetry for children where we have Milne and, all the children's authors. But then you want poetry for instance, sonnets from the Portuguese, and you have older poetry. And I'm just thinking of different books off the top of my head. You have sections on theology, like there are books, whatever your theology is, you will have books supporting that. You will read about it. I have a Chesterton area because he's my friend forever and ever. I have actually, I have my Wendell-Berry area, his books in a certain section. I have Solzhenitsyn because I just think he was so, so important. And I love the things that he has written. They're so good. Dostoevsky. Like you have your people, right? Different authors that you love. But yeah. So
Kathy, so what I'm hearing though is the way I'm curious about the organization of your books. Is it organized by theme? Is it organized by how the books look? Is it or how's it? Or is
no,
it
is not organized by how they look.
By color?
No, it isn't.
That's what you would
now,
do.
my wardrobe is arranged by color, but
listen,
but not the library.
When Martin and I first started traveling together to homeschool conventions,
it was another disaster.
He would set up the booth. Oh, it was beautiful. And I would go to the literature guide section and they would be all over the place. And I was like, wait a minute, I can't talk to somebody when Charlotte's Web is beside Jane Eyre. That is crazy. They need to be by grade.
Yes, I would
so
agree.
I would rearrange them by grade. So then he would come in and rearrange them by color. And I said, what are you doing? This is
I
not.
never arranged.
Yes, you said, well, they look better this way.
This I don't put red over here and blue over here.
No, but it was
design.
He was making them beautiful so that they looked beautiful, but it wasn't practical at all when somebody came and said, what should my fourth grader read?
Yes, but you have many more people coming into the booth because it's beautiful.
So it wouldn't surprise me.
Beauty does matter, but I do remember setting up with you at GHC in California years ago. And just like, I wish he would go and eat or do something, and we would get this done.
Okay, well, back to home libraries.
Yes.
So, what is your organization?
My organization would not be by color. That would be ridiculous. I'm so sorry. But I mean, it would be theology in a certain area, nonfiction in a certain area, fiction in another area. That would be the way I would think of it. Yes, by theme, definitely. Yeah.
And are these go ahead. No.
No, I was going to say, but if an author writes nonfiction and fiction, like, you would still put them together. These things matter in this world.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so, I feel like your author needs to be with all of his books.
Huh.
This is the problem, and this is why I used to have them arranged by subjects or topics, and I finally just had to abandon it because I couldn't find what I needed when I needed it, because one book could be in several different categories.
Exactly.
So I was always having problems. So finally, I just put it alphabetically because
by title or by author.
Did you really? Oh my goodness! Yeah. Wow.
Mm-hmm. All of them are just alphabet. Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, there's a couple little exceptions to that. If I'm working on a project, they got all those books sitting there.
Sure.
So I can get those easily. But if it's not an active project, I've got them alphabetical.
Y'all are going to love how I answer these questions. Okay. So, Tanya, how's yours?
I can guess how you answer these questions. Mine is by, I've got an entire bookcase. I've got 2 bookcases that are all British authors, and they are arranged alphabetically.
By author?
But that's because I have so many Dickens books. I've got pretty much his entire catalog, which takes up a couple shelves. So it is taking 2 bookcases, and that's my preference reading. But that doesn't include my British murder mysteries. They're in a whole different bookcase because there are so many of them. And then I've got 1 bookcase of American authors. And then I've got 1 that has nonfiction and anything that's not British or American, like
How
Russian.
Do you ever find
because I know the author. I mean, they're alphabetical by author.
You have them. You have.
But I
15
split up
different principles of organization.
It's totally organized. I can find anything. And then I've got a bookcase that has books I haven't read yet that's on my list to read. And then
so the bookcase that you haven't read, how is that organized?
It's not.
Okay.
It's just like thrown in.
Okay.
And so I did go through and pick out the ones I want to read this year. And I put them in a separate little bookcase but they're not organized because I'm not going to read them in a particular order. And I have already added books to that.
Yeah.
Solzhenitsyn is in there, by the way. And then I've got one that's got Christian nonfiction in it. It's also got Bibles in it, and and then I've got like books on education are in the bookcase with all the like silence. It's Japanese, right? So it didn't fit with my British or American. So I've got all of those international authors in a place.
It's international and education.
I can find anything. I know exactly where they all are.
So, Kathy, you mentioned yours are in an office. So you've got your home office,
right?
And you've got bookshelves in there,
right? But I do have another room where I have more bookshelves because we can never have enough bookshelves.
Okay.
Because that just happens.
And
like a one shelf is all the music. Music is important. Music should be in a library. It should be.
Okay.
It should. I mean, it's so important.
What do you mean? Like albums?
So no. Okay. So I play the piano.
Oh, sheet music.
So I want sheet music.
Oh.
I want hymnals. I want, regular music that is family music.
Okay.
American music, all different kinds of music.
Sure.
And I don't think that we give enough credence to music in our education. Like it's so important. All kinds of music. It's
and probably in our
important.
home lives.
In our home lives, to have that available. Yeah, it's so important. Yeah.
Okay. So, and then Tanya, yours are on bookcases spread throughout the house?
Yes, I've got several in the den, 1 in my sun porch, 2 in my bedroom, and one in the front foyer because I've run out of room.
Because they keep multiplying.
Yes, and I have to keep buying bookcases. I don't know where to go next. I'm out of space. I'll have to go to the basement and get rid of some of Dave's guitars to put bookcases.
Is your sunroom climate controlled?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
It has a vent.
A vent.
Yes, heat comes up.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. All right.
You have to explain this.
I guess that's climate control.
I didn't know if this was connected to your central air or if it were just a vent that opened into the house that it would just kind of
no,
float over a little bit.
I think it's connected. Air comes through it.
Okay. So yes, it would be connected.
So I was interested.
That was the hardest question of my day.
Now mine is spread. Mine is in different rooms. So I have my office library, which is my working library.
Right.
The books I'm using, the books I think I might need to reference, and then I have like right behind me, one of my other out of the regular plan things is all my books on education, because I teach a couple classes at Memorial College on classical education, so I need those at hand. They're right there, so I have those back there. But then I have a boys' books library that covers one whole wall. The downstairs, my oldest grandson Soren helped me organize that. In fact, he did the organization. They're all alphabetical, and we were in there working one day, and he's shelving books and putting them there. He said, "Papa, I think this is my favorite thing to do."
Oh, I love that.
If you can develop just.
So where's your girls' library located? Because you have a daughter.
I have mostly boys.
I was wondering.
You have a daughter. Good gracious!
I have other books, but I had 3 boys, so I had to ply them with books all the time. So
daughter of yours.
Hey, she was as much. She loved the boys' books
because she didn't have a choice, did she?
She was the only other family member I can get to read Louis L'Amour.
Interesting.
She's into horses, right?
Sure.
Yeah. But then I have a room off of we have a very nice finished basement. I have a whole big room off of that, and so I was going to make that into a library. Well, my wife was, okay, well, let's just put some shelves maybe over on this wall, maybe on this part of the wall over here. And I said, I was thinking of putting shelves over here. She said, I don't. So then the other day we're down there with my grandson, Soren. And he says, I think we should put bookshelves on this wall. And she says, I think that's a good idea too. Wait a minute. I proposed the very same thing, but the favored grandson, right? So anyway, I've got a wood from Lowe's to get this project done. So I'm going to be building bookshelves again. But that room down there is sort of the overflow. But we still have boxes.
There will always be an overflow, and there will always be boxes.
Yes, so all of
the wife is saying we have to. If you die, and I have to box up all these books,
right?
Then,
which could very well happen. But your kids will.
What I'm wondering is, does she expect
you need to go read some more of the Vulgate.
Does she expect you to die bookless?
No. But
okay,
okay. But as she would say, you can't take them with you.
That is true. So I will just sort of explain mine. And I have a question.
You've been holding back. You've been waiting.
So
can I guess yours?
Go for it.
I think they're not organized at all.
You are incorrect.
Okay.
You are incorrect.
Okay. Well, I stand corrected. Correct me.
I have a room that we call the library, which had built-in bookshelves. And it's got the fireplace. And I mean, it'd be nice if I had more shelves in that room, but I don't. And that is organized.
Martin will come build them for you.
Oh, thanks, Martin. Also by theme. So I've got farming and literature and philosophy and
literature, regardless of where the
that doesn't matter where they came from, Britain or England or anything. I have a complete set of the great books that's in the middle of that won't move because that serves 2 purposes. Anytime I'm looking for a great book, boom, it's right there.
Right.
But also, that's generally what catches people's eyes.
Oh yeah, because they're beautiful.
And they're like, ooh, like I had somebody come by. there's somebody who was there and they're like, can I take the plastic off that one? I'm like, sure. Like they're meant to be used. I just haven't opened that one yet, you know? So we've got that. And then, but it is overflowing because, I got all my books, lined up. And then I've got now stacks of books in front of it.
That happens.
But the bottom two shelves are all children's books. And that's precisely because when children come over, I want it accessible.
That's
I want them to have the freedom to come and just grab whatever. And they do. They like when they walk in the door, they're like, hey, what's over there? All the toys are in the basement. So if they want to play, they got to go downstairs. But on the first floor where they walk in, that's where books are. Mm-hmm. But then I have a bookshelf downstairs that's mounted to the wall because my father-in-law made it for me. And it's like in the shape of a tree.
Is that what it was? When you sent me the picture, I thought, what is it?
And it's your books. You only get like 4 books in a little nook or whatever, but it's all And initially, when he built it, it was actually above our bed, because we didn't have a headboard or whatever. We just stuck it there. It was very convenient. But then when we moved, we ended up sticking it in the basement. But that's all literature I've read. Mm-hmm. And then I have another bookshelf, which is generally more academic books that I've read. Mm-hmm. But there's overflow from the literature that's now making its way over there. Or literature books I don't like, they go over there too.
Get rid of those.
Every once in a while I do. Mm-hmm. I just kind of go through and get rid of them. But my question for you all is, where are your spouse's books?
Dave has one bookcase in our little front room that has books on it.
Well, because all his used to be at his office.
Yes, and they are still boxed up. And I'm not giving up my bookcases for his books on theology. So his are in boxes. But, I feel like that's his choice.
So the murder mysteries are out and the important
the theological books are in
That's right.
boxes.
Well, I figure, he's got in the basement, which is his area, he has got 19 guitars on the walls. And I'm thinking if he wanted his books out, he could take some of those down and sell them.
and put up bookcases. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Martin, does Joyce have
Joyce? Okay. So we read very differently.
Uh-huh.
I'm in the middle of 25 different books.
Yes.
And I'm a writer, so I need access to those to quote them to whatever. She has one book and she starts that one book
and she finishes it.
And
I love
she does
that.
not stop until she finishes that one book. And it's usually not a book she's going to read again. So she doesn't really have
she's not a book accumulator.
No, she's not a book accumulator.
Okay.
No,
does she often get them from the library or does she buy them and then pass them on to somebody else?
She'll buy them.
Buys them and passes them on.
Yeah.
But what does happen to them?
I don't know. Sometimes they probably end up in our kids' houses or or I might still have them. I mean, a lot of the books she likes are books that I like anyway. She loves, for example, Cry the Beloved Country. Mm-hmm. And so that's in
So that gets mixed in with your library.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's how we are. They're mixed together. Yes. There is one shelf that is mainly his books on theology that, we've kept over the years. But he is so great because if anyone gives him a book, he will read that book. Mm-hmm. And so, Christmas, the kids are gifting books. He is reading through every one. I gift him he's like, you gifted me. I will value you and I will read this book.
Yeah.
And that is a great thing. Mm-hmm. But his books, of course, we each have stacks by our chair because that's how life is, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And you will always have books scattered around the house. Yeah. And I would say I'm not like Joyce. I probably have 4 books going at the same time because you're reading one for your work. You're reading one for enjoyment. It just happens. Yeah. That just happens.
Yeah. Sarah and I read very differently, but she does have a bookcase. I can't remember, this bookcase might be facing the wall. I can't recall if we've turned it back around when we had our foster kids come in a couple years ago, and they were very destructive initially.
And we had
friends come in and box everything up and certain things like that. Bookcases, they just took and turned it around against the wall. I'm not sure we ever unturned her bookcase back against the wall. But she's also one of those people that will read one book at a time.
Right.
And then like once it gets shelved, it just really kind of gets shelved. And so
because there's some books that you are going to read and then you're never going to look at them again.
You're
and
done
you can
with
send them off to
them.
half-price books or something. And then there's other books that you want to be able to refer to.
We were sharing shelf space on the library until it all got packed back up. And when it all got packed up for when the kids came, and then I think I was more motivated to unpack than she was. So
right.
It all got in my space.
Yeah, I'm the only selfish one here who's refusing any bookshelf space to my husband.
Yes, apparently.
Let's talk about if what are our recommendations for somebody either looking to build a home library, or I mean, it could be practical, it could be organizational, it could be, where to get the books.
I've got a big one.
What books? Oh, go for it.
So Cheryl's always made us buy the novels for every grade that our children were reading. So even if you had 6 children, you bought Robin Hood 6 times, because she said you need to be building your children's library. And so I did have 2 of everything that that my kids had read. And in all their picture books when they were little, I didn't keep. We moved, and I got rid of so much of that stuff, and I really regret that. I would love to have a library to be able to hand to each of them.
That's a very good point, because
idea.
even in the pictures we were sending back and forth last night, and you were like, "Ooh, is that a set of the Hardy Boys?" And I didn't realize. I mean, we do still have some Hardy Boys, some Nancy Drew. We have like a whole set of, I think, Elizabeth Gale books, which is about a foster child that Sarah had the complete set as a child that she read, and that she has read with foster children,
right?
That we still have, and I rebuilt my collection of great illustrated classics, because I had all of those, but then my mom got rid of all those.
Right.
So I rebuilt that collection, because that is something that when you get older and you've got kids in the house, you want those there.
Or even if you don't
agree.
have kids in the house, it's just a nice record of, Cheryl was absolutely right about that. And I just didn't pay good attention because, I'm not a pack rat. I'm a purge.
But when your kids are moving out, it would be nice to be like,
hand
okay,
it to them.
You've got 6 boxes of books here, and if you have space in your apartment, take them with you. If not, they'll stay here until you do.
That's right.
Yeah, and it's creating like you're showing them you value that. This is important, and as books become less important in our culture, we need to work to make them remain important. That is such a great idea. I think it's really important when you set up a library to have those, like I have the children's books low, where they can reach them. And 5-year-old Catherine, was that a namesake? Yes, it was. Who is just a chatterbox. But she, at 5, will take a book out while the other children are playing, and she's going through the book.
That's
and that
because she's a namesake. She's living up to her namesake.
I love that. But that's because her mother reads to her so much, and they love books.
Right.
But yeah, that's such a great idea to save those collections and gift them.
Yeah.
That is wonderful.
Yeah, that's what a lot of our books are over, I think, at our kids' houses, because I've looked for some and I can't find them. But the other thing is, in terms of building a library, of course, we didn't do this because we couldn't afford it really. But used books, particularly places like Half Price Books and is it Kincaid's down south?
McKay's.
No, there's another one.
There's a McKay's in Tennessee.
Okay, that's not the one I'm thinking of. There's one in South Carolina or something that like Greenville has one. I can't remember the name. Anyway, you can buy, and they usually have big children's sections, and you can buy used copies of things. Now, I would say if you can afford it, buy really, like, for particularly the classic children's books. We have some of these. But buy really nice editions of those. In the last 20 years, I have only bought really nice, like even when I go to read another Jane Austen novel or something, I'll go buy, Wordsworth Press edition of that book. Yeah. Nice cloth bound. around.
Yeah.
And that will
that means a lot to us that the books be beautiful and
they
feel
should be beautiful.
They should.
Yes. Yes.
It means less to me.
I was going to say, I don't know that Paul cares.
I have an essay in my new book called "The Word Made Flesh." Okay, how the physicality of books is really important, particularly for children, because they're very tactile.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And so that this whole thing of a physical object related to the ideas that you have, we are embodied creatures, and so place and concreteness and this sort of thing are hugely important.
Mm-hmm. And we're seeing less and less of it.
Yes, and that nice copy of the book that you bought of Child's Garden of Verses or whatever it is, your child is going to remember that for the rest of his or her life. Mm-hmm. And they're going to ask at some point later in life, where's that old book we used to read? When,
and they will go looking.
Yes,
actually, one of our daughters did that recently. She said, remember that book? And the little girls all look like this and da-da-da. And she went searching and searching and searching to find that book. Mm-hmm. Children remember what we show them when they're small.
Absolutely.
And I agree with you that touching, feeling, holding, the whole tactile thing is huge.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. However, I would say, like, for me, the criteria is don't go buy one of these, like, self-published reprints of a classic that's awful margins, awful artwork, whatever.
Yes, right.
But you don't have to go buy the most expensive cloth-bound thing either. Like, I think there is a medium there.
There is
of something, because
the Wordsworth ones, those are very affordable, but they are beautiful.
But I was thinking, like, I had a copy of Jane Eyre, and I remember I read it actually on my honeymoon because we had time, when we were on the Mediterranean dock, and it was very compact. I didn't like the reading experience, but for travel, it was actually great, right? And so you have different reasons for different things. So I don't want people to get hung up on, you got to have your nice massive copy of War and Peace that's just really nice to read. Sometimes you just you can't carry around that much.
That's true.
The one thing I would suggest with building your home libraries, and this gets back to what Martin's saying, is he doesn't know where a lot of his books are. They're at kids' houses, is don't be stingy, right? Mm-hmm. And so somebody comes like, hey, you got this book? Yes, I do. Here you go. I understand that I may have to go buy that book again.
Right.
Because in probably 3 years, I'm going to be like, where's that book? And I have no recollection.
Yep.
But that's why we have a library, right? It's for people to use.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But
very much so.
And because I can hear some people saying, well, why I got a Kindle. And I want to underscore this physicality of the book, saying there's a story, and I'm trying to remember the author's name. I can't remember her name I can't remember the title of the book it was, but she's a famous children's author, and she was in Paris with her husband, and they were sitting in a cafe, and she asked her husband, she said, "Can I just duck? There's a bookstore across the street here. Can I go in there?" And he says, "Yeah, sure. I got something to read here." So she goes across the street. She's gone for about half an hour. She comes back with this book, and I can't remember the title of the book, but she said, "I had a copy of this book when I was a little girl, and this was my favorite book." And so he said, and so she hands it to him. He's looking. He turns to the front, and he turns it and puts it in front of her, and there's her name and childhood address. It was
so nice.
The actual book she had.
Oh my goodness.
And why is that such an amazing thing? It's because this valued thing that you remember from childhood has come back to you. So I thought that was a cool little anecdote.
It's a shame you can't remember who it applies to.
Well, there you go. That is so nice.
Well, if we all get to read that book.
Well, books, libraries, those are our thoughts. And hopefully you'll join us next time for whatever we end up talking about. Don't know.
Thanks for joining us today on Classical Etc. by Memoria Press. If you like what you heard, please like, subscribe, or share this episode or comment. We love to hear your questions and your comments. If you want to learn more about Memoria Press, please go to memoriapress.com. This has been Classical Etc. We're so glad you joined us, and we'll see you next time.